Hey guys, what's up? It's Emily, and today I'm going to be doing something I haven't done in the longest time. I'm going to be doing a book talk. So today I'll be talking about a series that I have just now gotten into, which is really shameful because I should have read it a long time ago. And it's Akatar and Akamath, or A Court of Thorns and Roses, and A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. And this series is incredible. Sarah J. Maas also wrote the Throne of Glass series, and there is one more book besides these two. Comes out May 2nd, and I am very, very, very excited for it. I am anticipating it. I have a countdown going, and oh my god, I need it now. These books are actually fairy tale retellings. A Court of Thorns and Roses is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and A Court of Mist and Fury is a Hades and Persephone retelling. The main character's name is Feyre, and she and her family are obnoxiously poor, and they're starving basically, and Feyre has to take care of her dad, and her two older sisters, and she's really the only one who can really do anything in her family. So she has to go hunting out in these woods, and in this world, there is the human side of this continent, and there is the fairy side of the continent. And the human side is very, very small. Apparently there is this war that broke out between the fairies and the humans, and blah blah blah, there's this treaty signed, and blah 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 blah, political stuff. The humans and the fairies, they don't interact with each other. Hi. Sophie, get out. Go away. God, dogs. The humans fear the Fae with an extreme passion, because to them they've heard these stories about the Fae, how they just want to kill people and torture humans and yada yada. Oh yeah, Sarah J. Maas's fairies are not a little Tinkerbell. They are stronger than humans, they're faster than humans, more powerful than humans, they have magical powers. They're typically a lot hotter than humans. I mean, they're basically better than humans in every way possible. So Feyre's hunting, sorry that kind of got off track, hunting in a forest for her family, and she sees a wolf, and she shoots this wolf with a bow and arrow and kills it. Apparently this wolf was a Fae, and since she killed Fae, oh my god, it violated the treaty in some way, and so this other Fae named Tamlin comes after her because the treaty said that if you kill a Fae and you're human, you have to die. But he kind of takes mercy on her, or pity on her, and says that, oh, you have a choice, I can either kill you right now, or you can come stay with me forever in the Spring Court, because the Fae land is split up into 7 courts. Forgot to mention that too. There's the Spring Court, the Autumn Court, the Winter Court, the Summer Court, the Day Court, the Dawn Court, and the Night Court. It's a lot of courts. And so then Feyre gets taken to the Spring Court, and that's where the story begins. This series is amazing, and I have a new #1 book boyfriend. If you've read this series, you know exactly who I'm talking about. I love Sarah J. Maas, and I think I like this series better than Throne of Glass. Highly suggest this series, and it's not a difficult fantasy book to read because Feyre is very new to this Fae world, and so you're kind of reading it through her point of view. It's in first person, and it makes it a lot easier, and I don't really know what else to say without spoiling you. So if you haven't read this series, then I suggest leaving. Unless you really don't care, then you can stay. So I am going to get into talking about stuff. I have notes. I took notes. Oh my god, it's been forever since I've done this. My notes are very sporadic. Go away! Hi. Hi. You want to say hi? Look. Oh! Okay. This is Sophie, everybody. Hi. 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 No, you don't need to lick my face. Okay. You're good. Now go away. Shoo. Ow! That was a book. Go away. Go away. So my first note, this is when I started taking notes and then I kind of compiled it, actually has to deal with Akamath. And it was when Rhys and Feyre went to the Bone Carver, I think is what his name is. And I have this theory, and I'm not sure if this theory is correct. It's just a theory that kind of popped in my head. I talked to my friend about it, and she goes, oh, that's interesting. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. So to Rhys, it appeared, the Bone Carver appeared as, I don't know how to say his name. How do you say his name? It's the guy, the guy who's I was in the ring or whatever, and then he's back as a human person thing now. You know who I'm talking about. I just don't know how to say his name and I really don't feel like mispronouncing things. So it appears as him. That guy is who Reese wants to know the most about. Like, that is his number one, I need to know about this person thing. And to Feyre, it appeared as this little boy who had black hair and violet eyes. And I think he was supposed to be like a creepy kid, but like in my head, I was picturing like a mini Reese. That's just how it was. It was a mini Reese. And I was just like, okay. And then I was like, wait a minute. What if the bone carver appears to you as the person you want to know about the most? Like, Reese needed to know about the guy. That guy. And Feyre really wanted to know about Reese because now she's like stuck with Reese for like this week every month and she needs to know him. That's just my theory. So the retelling aspect in this series, I noticed it a lot more in Throne of Glass, and I don't know if it's because I'm not 100% aware of the Hades and Persephone like retelling. I mean, I could definitely see the comparisons, but in Throne of Glass I was like, oh yeah, that's like that moment when blah 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 happened. And then in like A Court of Mist and Fury, it was kind of like the overarching thing was the retelling, which I don't know. I think I kind of liked that more, maybe. Maybe it's because I like Akamath more because Tamlin is not there. We're gonna talk about Rhys now because Rhys Sand is now my number one book boyfriend. He has taken that number one slot. I don't even know who was there before because they don't matter right now. And Rhys Sand is like my baby, and every time he was crying and upset, I was like, oh my god, my poor baby. Oh no, Rhys Sand. And I love him so much. He's the best. I need a Rhys Sand in my life. I'm sure now like a lot of people need a Rhys Sand in their life, but we're never gonna get one because life. Okay, in this series, I find Feyre to be way more relatable than Celaena. And I do love Celaena. Celaena's amazing. Celaena is the main character in the Throne of Glass series, if you haven't read that series. I don't know. Like, I can relate to Feyre more, like, with just... I can't really relate to Celaena, because the things that she goes through, I cannot really relate to Celaena really that much. Because she's been through so many horrible things in her life. I mean, Feyre's gone through some crap too, but Feyre's position with her family, I could sort of kind of relate to more than Celaena, and I just think I like Feyre better than Celaena. And don't get me wrong, I still really love Celaena too. Okay, the one point in ACOTAR that I was so frustrated was that stupid riddle that Amarantha gave Feyre. I figured it out the second that Amarantha said it. I was like, oh my god, it's love. And Feyre thinks about it for 1 second, then forgets it from her mind the entire time. It's like, oh, I could never solve the riddle. I can just never solve the riddle. She doesn't sit there and ponder it. And I'm just like, Feyre, I'm pretty sure if you just sat there and pondered it, you could get it. It's not that difficult. And I was so frustrated. And then she'd go through all these trials and do all this crap, and she could have just said it in the beginning. Then, well, though, I guess if she said it in the beginning and figured it out, then Rhys and her wouldn't have made that bond, which would have been bad, I guess. So I guess it was okay in the end. But I just remember being so frustrated. I'm like, Feyre, what are you doing? It's so easy. I don't know. It just made me angry. Okay, I'm gonna talk about Tamlin right now. But first I'm gonna start with like a question about Tamlin. Apparently he has a heart of stone. It touches on it like in ACOTAR, it was like a running like joke thing, like, oh Tamlin, you have a heart of stone, ooh, oh Tamlin, you're softening your heart of stone, ooh. And then like it turns out at the end that he actually physically has a heart of stone because, you know, Feyre tried to stab him and it just kind of clink. How does that work and how did he get a heart of stone? That's just like my question. Like, it never really got brought up again. And I'm just kind of sitting here like, wait, I don't really care about Tamlin, but like if he's going to be in the story, which he is, unfortunately, I would really just kind of like to know how that worked. And I don't really know. I was just kind of like a burning question of mine basically that I kind of want answered in ACOWAR. Like, can we talk about this? Because obviously Tamlin is going to be in ACOWAR a lot more. Speaking of Tamlin, when I went into reading this series, I already knew that Tamlin was going to do something to piss me off because the entire fandom was mad at him and like the friends were like, ugh, Tamlin, and I knew it was going to end up like Rhys and because it's Rhys and I was just like, okay. And so I already was kind of like very, very like, I don't, can't really ship this, no, during ACOTAR. And it's kind of like hard to, but then I noticed like I kind of knew that something happened along the lines of like him being somehow abusive or something like that. And so I was reading ACOTAR, and you can for sure see signs of that abuse in ACOTAR. Like just some of the things that Tamlin does and says, I'm like, no, stop, no. And it made me really frustrated. And like Feyre was just all like head over heels in love, and like, Feyre, take a step back a minute and actually like consider this. And I don't know, but I just thought it was like interesting how Sarah J Maas kind of like set that up. Like, oh yeah, you might not realize it the first time reading through when you don't know, but then you go back and read through it and then you realize. And I think that's like a really important like thing, because there are so many people that get into relationships and don't realize that they're like abusive relationships, and then when they finally get out of them, or when they're already in too deep, they finally realize like, oh crap, this isn't good. And I think it's really important that ACOTAR kind of like show this, like here are some of the warning signs of like an abusive relationship, like a relationship that's just not healthy. I want to talk about Feyre's depression right now. I also really love like Sarah J Maas's books because her characters are like in situations that nobody can really relate to. Like Selena and Feyre's position, no one can really relate to that, but the emotions that she makes her characters feel are very relatable. Like Feyre's depression, like I could kind of relate to that, just like the things that's happened in my life and everything. And I thought it was like really important, and I think that like her like not wanting to paint was such like a big like ordeal, and it was because her painting was her passion. I really liked the way that she kind of dealt with like Feyre like not wanting to paint, because when like I don't really know, because I kind of compare it to like when mine like in my, whether no matter what kind of depression it is, if it's just like, oh, not actual depression, but just, you know, like fandom-y, whatever depression, or like I'm actually genuinely really depressed, I just don't want to read. And that's kind of what I related it to. And I thought it was just like this grand moment when Feyre finally wanted to paint again. I was like, yes, she's finally getting over it. And I thought it was great, and I love the way that Sarah handled that. Okay, Amren. What is Amren? I am very interested to find out what the heck Amren is. And at first I was really scared of Amren, but I actually warmed up to her very quickly, and I thought it was gonna be kind of like Manon from the Throne of Glass series, where it was gonna take me a little bit to get used to Manon. But Amren was fine. Like I was a little scared of her at first. I'm still like terrified of her, but like I like her a lot more, especially after her and Feyre were like trapped in the, I don't even know, like underground in the water thing, trying to get the book in the summer court, and like they were gonna drown, and that was really intense. And then they end up back in the night court after like Rhys was like, what are you doing? And like winnowed them back because, you know, people were, you know, like chasing them. Anyway, and they're just ending up on the floor laughing their like heads off basically. I was like, okay, I love Amren. Okay, down. I'm just really interested to see what she like is, and I know that if we actually find out, things are going to be in a really bad spot, because in what situation would she need to like fully unleash her like power or whatever? There are 9 people that cannot die in this ACO war, and I can't. That's not gonna happen. Someone's gonna die. Someone's going to die, and I'm not able to handle it, and I can't. Those stupid queens. I need to stab every single one of them. And speaking of those queens, did they all survive being put in the cauldron? Are they all just gonna be now Fae? And who knows? I hope they all died. Could they just all have died? That would have been great. And that one queen who was like, here, no, take the book, take the book, take the book. This is bad. I don't like this. The queens are not okay. I really liked her. She was good because, you know, she helped them. I hate those queens. They all need to die. If they're not dead yet, they need to just die. They just die. Here's people you can kill: the queens and Tamlin. You can kill them, but don't kill any of my 9 people. I'm gonna be destroyed by this book. I don't know how do you say this. Is it Velaris? I was so upset and in distress when it was getting like destroyed and that attack was happening. I was like, oh my god, no, because I loved that place. It was getting destroyed and now we're gonna have to rebuild it, and I don't I loved Lucian and ACOTAR. He was hilarious. I loved his character. I just loved everything, and I still really like him. I just feel like he needs to just like take a step back and be like, okay, Tamlin is not really okay. Listen to Feyre. You know, Feyre's got it good and everything, and he was kind of making me angry. So he was listening to Tamlin and everything, but you know, whatever. I can forgive him for that. Especially now that he's mated with Elaine, which should be interesting. And I cannot wait for like the Feyre and Lucian banter to happen again. And what I really want to happen is for like Lucian to obviously know that Feyre's lying, because he obviously kind of like is already like picking up on this, like, oh, you're not telling the 100% the truth, what's going on here? But I really want Feyre to like tell him everything, and then him to get on Feyre's side, and they like take down the spring court together and be all sneaky spies and stuff. Oh, it'd be great. When Nesta came out of the cauldron, Feyre commented that she was different from Elaine. So I'm wondering, does Nesta have some sort of power? Like, I don't know, because she was different from Elaine, and like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Does she have powers? I really hope she kind of has powers. That'd be pretty cool. Although really kind of scary too, because Nesta is kind of scares me. When Rhys was talking about his sister, his mom, and how the spring court has their wings, we've never seen them anywhere, and I'm really scared that we're gonna see them in ACOWAR when Feyre's at spring court, and it's gonna be really emotional and sad, and I can't handle this. I just can't handle anything, guys. I really can't. Oh, okay, yeah, another one of my questions was when Feyre put the book together. I was really angry in that part too, but she put the book together, and Amren had said that if you put the book together, it sends out a signal to all these other powerful beings that weren't on this world or whatever, and how if it sends out that signal, then they can come. So did her putting the book together, is it, we're gonna have to deal with all these new creatures that are scary? Like, this is gonna be such a stressful book for me to read, and it's like kind of like a week or 2 weeks before I take my finals. So it's just gonna be, it is bad timing. So yeah, I think that's it. I miss talking specifically about certain books. I love this. I just loved this, and I cannot wait till ACOWAR. So far, this is the favorite series reads I've done in 2017. And it will probably stay that way with the addition to ACOWAR. I'm really excited and really nervous and scared and terrified, but ecstatic about ACOWAR. I need it right now. Just right now. Alright, so that's all I had to talk about. Alright, bye guys, thank you so much for watching.